The worst thing that you could possibly do for yourself is to fumble somebody who has a servant heart and who have a giving heart. Let me tell you, I have always been a giver. I have always been a servant, but I did not understand how it should be guided, right? So I was giving and serving literally everybody to my own demise. As a Christian, we are supposed to give. As a Christian, we are supposed to serve. But we're supposed to dust our feet off and keep moving if we realize that it's in vain, right? But I would never do that part. I would never dust my feet off and keep moving. But now that I understand that, I understand the importance of tithing. I understand all of that. I'm a faithful tither at my church. I do hair, so as I make money, I send 10% every time. And outside of that, outside of being a faithful tither, I still do the things I used to do. When I first moved out to Kansas City 3 years ago, every time I saw a homeless person on the street, I handed them $20. It don't matter if it was my last $20. Every time I saw a homeless person, I handed them $20. Did I ever look back and say, oh, I wish I had that 20? No. You want to know why? Because God always provided exceedingly and abundantly. I was making so much money when I first moved here, and a lot of it was effortlessly. And then I had me a little slow few months, a little over a year actually. That was very slow. And now I'm back making money more consistently. But it don't matter if I had $1 to my name. I was still tithing at church. Hey, I didn't make no money this week, but I can give you this. Like I've always had a giving and a serving heart. I've never been the type to feel like I have to have the newest of the new and the best of the best. Like never. So the fact that I don't overindulge on my spending, I always have money to give and to help people. That's the way that God expects us to be, but a lot of people are so stuck on making sure that they look like they got it that they don't even have anything extra to give to God. But I realize now through the church that I'm at that we give God our first. So the first 10% out of what we make, and then outside of that, you can offer whatever you feel you need to offer. I give my offering in these streets though. I walk up to people like today. I walked up to this young man. I see him all the time. I go to Price Chopper to get me a salad every day. I see the same dude. I don't know if he's a teenager, early 20s, but I know he's not 30. I see him pushing carts every single day in the heat. He's the only person pushing carts. I never see anybody else. And I'm not saying he's the only person because I don't know who works all day. But I know I go in the morning and sometimes in the evening too. And even if I don't go to Price Chopper, I go to the hair store next to Price Chopper. He's always in that parking lot. Like, he's always at work. I'm here Monday through Friday. He's there Monday through Friday. Always at work. So today I walked up to him and, I had to drive up to him because he was hard to find in the parking lot. And I handed him some money. And I just I see you working hard all the time. One time I was at Walmart and I seen this lady, this cashier. She was a young lady too. I don't know how old she was, but she had dreads. And I just handed her $100. And there's been a few times I'm at the grocery store and I see people and God's like, yeah, them. And I'll just go and slide my card and pay for their groceries. It don't matter if it's EBT or cash. I still slide my card and pay for their groceries. And I've done that so many times, even gas. I saw this young man, this was like about a year ago. I saw this young man at the gas station counting change in his car, and he went and put $5 in his gas tank, and God was like, give him 20. At this point, I only had $30 in my wallet. I didn't think about it. God said, give him 20. I pulled out a 20 and walked up to him and said, hey, the Lord told me to give you this 20 to put in your tank. You should have saw how happy he got. So many people are not used to being served. So many people are not used to being cared for, catered to, thought about. Their parents probably didn't even treat them right. So when you wind up in a relationship or in a close-knitted friendship or in a close-knitted relationship that's not sexual with someone who has a servant heart and you mistreat them, you are missing out on your own blessings. I never expect anything in return for anything I do for people, whether it be emotionally, financially, whatever it is. I never expect anything in return. Anytime I've gotten help from somebody, I knew they needed it right back. Like, I knew, like, they're going to keep texting you and making sure you give it right back. Either that or they'll ask you a million questions and then never help you anyways. Or they'll help you and then gossip to everybody. Like, I'm not like that. I've never been like that. If I do something for somebody, it's because out of the kindness of my heart, I genuinely wanted to do it. And 9 times out of 10, they ain't even got to ask me. If I know your situation Even if my situation mirrors your situation, I know who I serve, and I know that if I give this to you, God is going to give it back to me abundantly. I never miss a beat. I've never not been able to pay my utilities. Even when it cut close, when I almost couldn't pay them, God provides. I've never not been able to pay my rent. Even when it cuts close, God provides. Never not been able to pay none of my bills. So with that being said, I don't feel like I need extra money, extravagant money to be able to do this and do that. No. If I have it, cool. But if I don't have it, I'm not depressed. I'm not sad. I'm not sad about cash. So I've always been a servant. And when I was with my ex, both of my exes actually, they both knew that, and they would just use me. Like, you can't use somebody that has a servant heart, though. You think you're using me. You telling your friends I'm a lick. But honestly, I'm letting you take whatever you want because I don't want you around me and you're abusive. So I would much rather you think you just hit a lick by taking all the money from me than try to fight with you about that money and then you're going to stay here. No, I don't want you here. Take the money and go. Like, you cannot use somebody who does not care about money. You can't use somebody who will genuinely cook for you and clean and take care of the house whether or not you're there. You can't use somebody like that. Somebody with a servant heart who just wants to see you win, who just wants to see you do good. You cannot use somebody like that. You're playing yourself thinking that you're playing me. You're playing yourself thinking that you're playing anybody who acts like me. You can't use somebody that God has his hand on. You can't. You could think you're using us. You could think you're tricking us into doing stuff for you. But with my discernment, I can see everybody's heart. Even the people who come like a sheep. People who come looking like they actually care and they actually want to help. I can see past that. Whether or not I articulate that I can see past that, that's between me and God. But I see you. You can't use me. You're playing yourself. Amen.